say hi, and I move on. Greetings! Happy January the 20th, 2026, episode 233 of Randsanity. If I was doing this weekly, we'd be on like year 4.5 or something, or year 5, right? Yeah, we'd be like in the 5th year of prospects. So, how's everybody doing? We're good? Outstanding. It's cold as crap here. Single digits this morning when I woke up. I was not happy to go outside in the freezing cold. The car didn't want to start. My brain didn't want to start. My fingers wanted to freeze. But I was happy that I put on long johns because I was like, crap, it's cold. We're here to talk about music and history of music and some tours that are up and coming for this summer and spring. And talk about some births and some deaths and some music history. Talk about the stuff that happened on this day over time. That's what we do. Noster dumbass, what's going on? I see you're here. You're dumbass in it. Cold today, huh? How was that morning commute for you? Freezing? I was freezing my butt off. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cold as shit this morning. I was freezing. Freezing. Damn. All right, so we're just going to get right away here. Talk about some stuff. The first thing I noticed was I saw that the Ohio State Fair let some of their lineup up come out. And one of the things that they mentioned was that Blues Traveler and the Gin Blossoms are going to be playing a show at the Ohio State Fair on 8/8 at the Celeste Center. So, you know, I mean, it's bad when you get down to that, right? But it's not just those two. It's the Blues Traveler, Gin Blossoms, and the Spin Doctors. So, you know, this is like a 1990s throwback machine right here. You know, you got John Popper of Blues Traveler. You got Gin Blossom. You got Spin Doctors of all things, right? Wow. So they're doing a tour. Once again, tour the country on a co-headlining run, visiting 35 cities across the U.S. The amphitheater heavy run includes a performance in Central Park in New York City's Summer Stage and a promised performance at an iconic venue in Los Angeles that's to be announced. I wonder what that could be. Tour begins July 6th at Grand Junction, Colorado Amphitheater in Las Colones Park and runs through September 19th. Most dates go on sale Monday, January the 23rd. So if you want to get tickets, you know, outstanding, Noster dumbass. We'll give you major props for that, brother. We'll happily say fuck cancer. Congratulations. I'm very, very happy for you. Hopefully you'll have a long and prosperous life, friend. Outstanding. Congratulations. Makes me very happy to hear that. Very, very happy. Well, that kind of derails Blues Traveler, Spin Doctors, and Gin Blossoms. Most are dumbass beat cancer, so that's a lot bigger news than, you know, stupid bands. But we'll say the stupid bands are playing Grand Junction starting in July on the 6th. Then they're doing Eugene, Oregon, Washington, Utah, Nevada, California, LA. Then they go all the way to Maine 10 days later. Then New York, Connecticut, Atlantic City, Delaware, Asbury Park, Columbus, Ohio. So they leave New Jersey and they come to Columbus. Outstanding. New York, Virginia, Boston, New York City, New York, Bethlehem, PA, Glenn, PA, North Carolina, Charlotte, Clearwater, Florida, Hollywood, Florida, St. Augustine, Florida, Atlanta, Louisville, Des Moines, Omaha, Waite Park, Kansas City, Cincinnati, Ohio, back in the Ohio, Elysia, and then Traverse City, Michigan. So go get your tickets to go see the Spin Doctors, the Blues Traveler, and the Gin Blossoms this summer. Should be a fun show. Throw some nostalgia back at you. Now, I also found another tour that I was excited about. Now, this is a great one. If you're not familiar with this person, I suggest that you get familiar with her music. Courtney Barnett has announced the release date of her new album, Creature of Habit, March 27th at Mom and Pop Records, alongside a slate of headline tours in 26. The tour is in support of the release, will take place in Aussie Tunesmith, coast to coast across North America, making stops in major markets. The first leg of the outing will begin May 1st in Austin, Texas, and conclude May 22nd in Toronto. The tour picks back up August 11th in Cleveland and rolls until August 29th in L.A. Mama, Truman, Sinclair, Built to Spill, and Zoma Ambam will support on select dates. Well, I'm hoping that Mama is when they come to Columbus, Ohio, because hells yes, I love that. Mama is awesome. So, lineup, I will renounce. It's been 5 years since Barnett's last record, Things Take Time. Creatures of Habit will be her fourth. The new track, Sight Unseen, features Waxahachie's Katie Crutchfield. Barnett said in a press release, I'm a big Waxahachie fan. I really love Katie's songwriting and her voice. So it was an honor to have her sing on Sight Unseen. You can watch the official video out now. So Courtney Barnett tickets available on StubHub and Ticketmaster now. Pre-sale for Courtney's Creature of Habit tours begins Wednesday, tomorrow, January 21st at 10 a.m. You can sign up for pre-sale at official website of Courtney Barnett. General on sale will begin Friday, January 23rd at 10 a.m. via Ticketmaster. Of course, you can go to StubHub, where tickets are 100% guaranteed through StubHub's fan protection program, blah, blah, blah. So she's starting in Austin, Texas, then doing Houston, Dallas, Nashville, Atlanta, Brooklyn at King's Theater, D.C., Philly, Boston, Wisconsin, Madison, St. Paul, St. Louis, and then 5/20, Columbus, Ohio, the Newport Music Hall. I will definitely be making a stop at the Newport Music Hall on 5/20 to check out Courtney Barnett. Then heading off to Detroit, Michigan, and Toronto, California. Then when she comes back, she kicks it back at Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Kansas City, Seattle, Portland, Denver, Salt Lake, Sacramento. Now, it says that the little asterisk is, it says with Mama, not Columbus, Ohio. So I'm very unhappy about that one. It looks like it's going to be Truman Sinclair. Don't care. Built to Spill, I see there's a couple dates with Built to Spill. Not a lot. Do you have one? I don't even see it. But yeah, I mean, Mama would be the one I'd want to see. I would want to go see her with Mama. I would have to go see them in Boston, Philly, D.C., Brooklyn. Is the only times Mama's playing. Dang it. All right. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to get to see Mama play with Courtney Barnett. But I will try and catch Courtney Barnett. All right. That's what happens. Tour. All right. Little history then. Let's go back to 1965. American disc jockey Alan Freed died from uremia and cirrhosis brought on by alcoholism at the age of 42. Freed called himself the father of rock and roll. He also coined the expression of rock and roll. He appeared in the movies such as Rock Around the Clock and Don't Knock the Rock. His career was destroyed by a payola scandal that hit the broadcasting industry in the 1960s. Now, the thing is, okay, Alan Freed and payola. So payola is basically broadcasting for airtime without disclosure. Now, being in the radio industry, we had to disclose all the time. We had to sign documents that were basically legal documents that said we would not take payola, meaning that if they spent money with us, it was not to influence songs. Now, the U.S. Payola Act is from the Communications Act of 1934, sections 317 and 507 specifically, with penalties including fines up to $10,000 and imprisonment for up to a year through disclosure compliant payments are legal. So that's where it is. Like, this program is sponsored by Sharpie. Done. I disclosed. Totally legal. Now I can do all I want and get paid and do my thing. So, but if you don't disclose it, it refers to the undisclosed acceptance of money, gifts, or other valuable consideration in exchange for the promotion of airplay or songs on a program of radio, television, or digital platforms. So it's extended to social media. So things like TikTok, YouTube, and other things, you have to disclose that. That's why they're so serious about it, because the fines can get pretty egregious from the FCC, which is the federal government. So the idea is that unlike legitimate advertising or sponsorship, payola involves secret agreements, misleading audiences about the true popularity of music or products. A related practice, plugola, occurs when someone promotes content in which they have a financial interest without disclosure, even if no outside party provides payment. Meaning, I own Sharpie, and I talk about Sharpie all the time because I own it. That's plugola. Notice Sharpie because I want them to spend money with me. Pay for play. Exactly. That's exactly it. Pay for play. Now, the funny thing is about this, where it really came from. It came from the owners of the radio stations. Yes, that's exactly right. Because think about this. It happened back in the 1930s. So disc jockeys would get consideration. Hey, play this song. Here's some money. So they put it in their pocket, play away. Now, what happened was the owners of the radio stations were like, hey, I want money. So what they did was they petitioned Congress, and they basically got the Broadcast Act of 1934 to be passed so that the DJs couldn't take money that wasn't going into the pockets of the owners because it wasn't being disclosed. That's all it was. It was the greed of the ownership, more so than anything else of misleading anybody. It was just that they wanted to get paid. So it's kind of one of those things that, you know, if you follow the money, it always sort of takes you back to it. It gained most notoriety in the 50s when Alan Freed was prosecuted for accepting payments to play records without disclosure. The congressional hearings of 1959 and 1960 criminalized undisclosed payments, and DJs lost decision-making power over playlists, shifting authority to program directors. So that's when that all kind of happened, because then they couldn't, you know, take the cash. Payola extends beyond traditional radio. Streaming platforms, playlist curators, and social media influencers may engage for pay-for-play schemes, raising similar disclosure obligations under existing laws. Legislation proposed, like the American Music Fairness Act, aimed to enhance transparency and ensure artists receive fair compensation for broadcasts. While payments are legal if disclosed, non-disclosure continues to be prosecuted as payola under federal law. So that's always something that we had to think about. You know, think about this. Record label comes to the radio station and says, hey, let's go out to dinner. So they take us out to dinner. We go eat lots of steaks, drink lots of bottles of wine. We go out drinking and partying afterwards. Is that considered payola? If we played songs like they want us to play some song, but that is other valuable consideration if you think about it. So we had to sign documents, everybody, when it came to doing just that. Now, the funny thing was, though, if you think about it as, you know, the radio station, we had to do that for the record companies. So the record companies would send us stuff because they didn't want to get in trouble. But you could, in fact, if we disclose it, saying like, you know, this airtime is brought to you by Universal Music Group, or these commercials are paid for by Universal Music Group, that was disclosure. So as long as you told people that you did it, that's all that really mattered. So it was one of those things where we didn't per se take money for songs. Okay, we never took money directly for playing a song. But if the record companies want to buy T-shirts or they want to buy things that are, again, other valuable consideration, you know, that's okay. As long as we're saying that this stuff is from Sony, Warner Brothers, Universal Music Group, all of the above. So, payola. One of those little interesting things that people don't think about. 1967, The Monkees TV show was on for the first time in the United Kingdom. The series followed the adventures of 4 young men, the Monkees, trying to make a name for themselves as rock and roll singers out of Los Angeles. They went on to sell more than 75 million records worldwide and had international hits including Last Trains to Clarksville, Pleasant Valley Sunday, Daydream Believer, and I'm a Believer, which was noted that yesterday on the 19th, it went to number 1 in the UK back in 1967. One-hit wonders? Now remember what a one-hit wonder is. A one-hit wonder is any artist that only has a single song that is in the top 10. Never needs to be number 1. It just needs to be in the top 10. And they can't have anything lower than 40, the top 40. They can have 1,000 songs that never make it, but they only can have one song that's in the top 10. So John Freed, a one-hit wonder, John Freed and the Playboys started a 2-week run at number 1 on the UK singles chart and the US singles chart. Judy in Disguise, with glasses. Judy in Disguise. It made number 3 in the UK. The song was inspired by the Beatles' Lucy in the Sky. So yes, one-hit wonders. In 1969, Bruce Springsteen had 2 of his poems published in the Ocean County College Literary Yearbook Seascapes. Springsteen was in his 2nd semester at the Toms River, New Jersey College. I know exactly where that's at, actually. In 1969, Led Zeppelin appeared at the Wheaton Youth Center, Wheaton, during their first North American tour. Some reports suggest that only 55 fans attended the show. If so, this would make it the smallest audience they ever played to. The show was on a Monday and the night of Richard Nixon's inauguration. Zeppelin was paid $250 to appear. $250 to play. Even in 1969, that's not a whole lot, just so you know. On the first date of a UK tour in 1972 at the Dome in Brighton, England, Pink Floyd attempted to premiere their new album, The Dark Side of the Moon. But due to technical problems, this was abandoned after a performance of the track Money. So I don't know if it means they just stopped the whole show or just didn't do that. Okay, so this is to clear up any of the preconceived notions of Ozzy Osbourne. During the Ozzy Osbourne concert in 1982 in Des Moines, Iowa, a member of the audience threw a bat onto the stage. Now, the bat was stunned by the light and the bat lay motionless. Thinking it was a fake rubber bat, Ozzy picked up the bat. I hate when I do that. Not paying attention. All right, we're going to try that again. I'll start at the top of that one. I was doing so good. All right, going back again. I'm going to try this again. All right. So this should clear up any misconceptions of what actually happened. During the Ozzy Osbourne concert in Des Moines, Iowa in 1982, a member of the audience threw a bat onto the stage. Stunned by the light, the bat lay motionless. Now, Ozzy, thinking it was a fake rubber bat, picked it up and attempted to bite its head off. Now, as Ozzy did this, the bat started to flap its wings. Ozzy then realized that it wasn't fake, but it was in fact a living thing. He did not continue to bite the bat's head off. After the show, Ozzy was immediately rushed to the nearest hospital where he was administered rabies shots. He did not intentionally try to eat a live bat. Contrary to popular belief, Ozzy thought it was actually fake. Gross. 1983, Def Leppard released their third album, Pyromania, which featured new guitarist Phil Collen. not Phil Collins. It was produced by Robert John Mutt Lang. The album has now sold over 10 million copies in the U.S. It's actually a pretty good song, Pyromania. In 1988, the Beatles were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio. George Harrison, Ringo Starr, Yoko and Sean, as well as Julian Lennon, all attended. Paul McCartney did not attend. Instead, he sent a letter stating that continuing business differences with the other ex-Beatles was the reason for his absence. Damn, let that shit go, Paul. Wow. In 1997, Ben and Jerry's introduced fish food with a f-ish. The new flavor of ice cream named after the rock group Fish. The ingredients were chocolate ice cream, marshmallows, caramel, and fish-shaped fudge. There you go. Right, Alice Cooper and chicken. Exactly. That's exactly right. I mean, come on, people. Yeah, so Ozzy did not go to eat a real bat. It just became the legend of lore. Someone threw it on stage. He was like, I'll just eat this fake bat. Let's see. Bill Albaugh died in 99. Yep. Ray Jones died in 2000. Yep. In 2000 as well, tourism chiefs in Liverpool, the road guys, were banned from putting up motorway signs saying Liverpool, the birthplace of the Beatles. It appears that the highways agency who oversaw the chief tourism people of Liverpool thought the signs would distract motorists. Whatever. You're going to crash your car because it says the home of the Beatles? You already knew that. In 2001, Christy McCall had a memorial service held for her. She was killed in a boating accident off the coast of Mexico in December of 2001. Bono from U2, Billy Bragg, and others were among friends and fans that packed the St. Martin in the Fields Church in London. That's kind of crazy stuff, you know. In 2002, George Harrison's had the posthumous UK #1 hit single with the re-release of his 1971 former #1, My Sweet Lord. Harrison's single replaced Ailla's More Than a Woman, the only time in a chart history that one deceased artist had taken over for another deceased artist at #1. Sorry, that was just kind of caught me off. I was like, wait, what? Speaking of knocking people off the charts, 2003, 8 Mile, starring Eminem, toppled The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, from its 4-week hold at the top of the UK box office. The story of a Detroit rapper took $7 million at 423 cinemas in the UK and Ireland. Not too shabby for Eminem in the UK. Etta James, most often remembered for her signature song At Last, which reached #2 on the Billboard R&B chart, died from complications of leukemia at the age of 73 on January the 20th of 2012. She also placed 9 other songs in the America Top 40, won 3 Grammy Awards, and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1993. Etta James. More Paul McCartney. Seems he doesn't like a lot of people. This time, Sir Paul was suing Sony Music over control of the Beatles' back catalog. McCartney had gone to a U.S. court seeking to regain the publishing rights to 267 of the band's classic songs. He had been trying to get them back since the 1980s, when Michael Jackson famously outbid him for the rights. Jackson's debt-ridden estate sold the songs to Sony in 2016. Now, if Michael Jackson bought them and Paul McCartney was outbid, who sold them? Paul McCartney? You had to agree to that. So you sold them and then you wanted them back. Sounds like you probably shouldn't have sold them in the first place. Just saying. That's just me. In 2021, some of the biggest UK music stars sent an open letter to the British government demanding action to ensure visa-free touring in the European Union. Sir Elton John, Liam Gallagher, Ed Sheeran, Sting, and Radiohead were among the 110 artists who signed the letter. It said they had been shamefully failed by the government over post-Brexit travel rules for UK musicians. Well, yeah, that could make life a little bit difficult if you couldn't tour, right? You know, if you had to deal with trying to get through visas every time you wanted to go from state to state. Zappa told AC not to deny the rumor, and the legend went crazy. Well, there you go. Alice Cooper, quite the golfer, too. Yes, and on this day, January 20th of 2022, American musician, singer, songwriter, record producer, and actor Meatloaf, Marvin Lee Aday, died at the age of 74. His record-breaking 1978 album, Bat Out of Hell, spent 457 weeks on the UK album chart. His Bat Out of Hell trilogy, consisting of Bat Out of Hell, Bat Out of Hell 2, and Back to Hell, and Bat Out of Hell 3, The Monster is Loose, has sold more than 50 million copies worldwide. His first album stayed on the charts for over 9 years. The 1984 Meatloaf legally changed his first name from Marvin to Michael because he was haunted by a Levi Strauss commercial, which contained the line, "Poor fat Marvin can't wear Levi's." His name was Robert Paulson, and he got killed in the movie Fight Club. And we don't talk about it, but we do say their names in death. So Robert Paulson, Mr. Meatloaf. I love Meatloaf, by the way. Such a great album. The Bat Out of Hell was such a good album when it first came out. I don't remember it when it first came out, but I do remember it later in life. All right. Let's talk a little about births and deaths here. Got a couple of births, got a couple of deaths, a lot of births. People were getting busy 9 months ago in a lot of places. So apparently this is the time of year to have the babies 9 months later. So first off, Lead Belly, born on this day. Now, I listened to a bunch of Lead Belly songs tonight. I just threw them on. And, you know, Led Zeppelin definitely covered a couple. He does the song Rising Sun. Gallows Pole, which Led Zeppelin definitely covered. And there was one in there that I could have sworn it sounds like a Nirvana cover. Like Nirvana definitely, it has the same kind of, it's very interesting. So yeah, Lead Belly, father who would be 138 years old today. He died back in, he was born in 1888. So yeah, pretty amazing. 12-string guitar player. Sang the blues. A lot of influential artists got stuff from Lead Belly, for sure, without a question. So definitely interesting. Also, George Burns was born on this day. George Burns died back in, would be 130 years old today. He lived to be 100, so he died 30 years ago. But that's crazy. George Burns lived to be 100 years old. Born on this day. George Grotham of Poco is 79 today. Ian Hill of Judas Priest is 73 today. Of course. Paul Stanley of Kiss, 73 today. George Kay of The Offspring, 61. Tracy Ulrich or Tracy Guns of LA Guns, which I talked about the other day, 60 years old. So that's Yeah, talking about LA Guns, having to, my first job being security at the Newport Music Hall, and LA Guns were getting mobbed by fans, and I had to escort them back to the bus one by one. So happy birthday to Tracy Guns. Elrich Tracy Guns of LA Guns. Oh, that's funny. Nick Wire, Nick Jones, but Nick Wire, Manic Street Preachers, 57 today. Sid Wilson of Slipknot, 49 today. Rob Budden of Linkin Park, 47 today. Nathan Conley of Snow Patrol, 45 today. Kevin Parker, Tame Impala, 40 years old today. Man, some great bands having birthdays today. Federico Fellini, filmmaker Federico Fellini. He would be 106 today. He died in 93. David Lynch, his birthday's today, would have been 80. He died last year. His birthday is the 20th. His death day is the 16th. So he died just short of his birthday. He falls into that 10%. 10% more likely to die close to or around your birthday. So he definitely fell into that category. Bill Maher, 70 years old today. Lorenzo Lamas, 68 years today. And Rainn Wilson, 60 years old today. I got to meet Rainn Wilson. He was actually really goofy. I got to go see the premiere of The Meg out in L.A. and do a review for it. So they flew us out there, and we got to interview all the actors. And Rainn was just kind of a goofy cat, man. It was kind of fun. Also born this day, Questlove, 55 years old today. And then we talked about people that died already a little bit. Alan Freed, rock and roll icon, payola, corrupt poor DJ. 43 years old is when he died in 1965. Etta James, 73, died in 12. Edgar Froese of Tangerine Dream, 70 years old, died in 15. Tangerine Dream, man, that brings back my friend that used to live out in OU and used to listen to Tangerine Dream in her dorm room. Oh my God, it's a crazy thing. I was like, I haven't thought about Tangerine Dream forever. Talk about stoner music. Yikes. It's like just, man, trippy shit. I don't know if I can listen to this anymore. I'd be like, whoa, man. Jim Rodford of the Kinks, Argent, and the Zombies died on this day at 76 on 18. Meatloaf died in 2022 at 74. Audrey Hepburn died at the age of 63 in 1993. Breakfast at Tiffany's. And Bobo Brazil, the wrestler Bobo Brazil, died at the age of 73 in 1998. My dad took me to go see wrestling in Elizabeth, New Jersey. At like one of these, back in the day when I was a kid, you go to see these wrestling matches, and I'll never forget it because the guy's name was Bobo Brazil. So sure as shit, his name shows up tonight in the deaths column. I'm like, holy crap, that brings me back to go see wrestling with my dad in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Oh, it's amazing. I love that so much. I love memories that bring shit back like that. Bobo Brazil. Now I'm going to have to find what day that was and who he fought against. Because I don't remember who it was. I just remember it was Bobo Brazil. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, man. Where was I at? I lost track of it all. It happens. Everything's lost. I lost it all. It's all just gone. Everything. No, it's not all gone. I'm kidding. Totally kidding. Let's see. I think that's it, yeah? Oh, I saw that, since I'll play Fortnite a little bit, there's some released skins. Looks like it's going to be Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and what's her name, Bunny. So I was like, Bugs Bunny skin for Fortnite? That's kind of crazy. Big Time Wrestling. Yes, Big Time Wrestling. Yes, the Sheik. Hey, I just talked about the Sheik the other day. The Sheik just like the anniversary of his death. I think it was like yesterday. When was that? I think it was yesterday. Hold on. I just talked about the Sheik dying the other day. Hold on. I know I did. I was like, right there. Yeah. On the 18th, the Sheik, he died at the age of 77 on January 18th. Yes, that's exact. I just talked about the Sheik. Oh, that's so funny. Big Time Wrestling with Bobo Brazil and the Sheik. You gotta love that stuff. Oh, man. It's funny. John Cena follows me on social media. So I've corresponded with John Cena once or twice. I love him as an actor. He is so, I just think he's so hilarious. You know, it's just one of those guys. So yeah, John Cena. Who knew, right? He follows me on social media. Okay. Someone has to, right? But yes, he would definitely be someone cool to hang out with, I imagine. He just seems like a dude. Just like a dude, you know. Just kind of, I don't know. He just seems very interesting. Anyway, Tuesday night, Wednesday tomorrow. It's supposed to be cold again. I'm not excited. But we'll have that. Have a little bit of chill in the air. Don't forget, like, subscribe, follow, share, and watch. So go watch some videos. Go watch them and make my numbers go up since they suck. When I get some time, I'm actually going to shoot some videos. I was watching this guy, Bob, Sunrise, cracks me up. I'm like, I could totally do some of those videos. So that's what I'm going to wind up doing. That is what I will do. I just have to do it. I just have to get off my high horse and actually make it happen. All right. Let's see what else. I think that's it. I think I've covered all the stuff. I covered the concert tours. We talked about Blues Traveler, Jim Blossoms, and Spin Doctors. We talked about the new concert tour of Courtney Barnett. And looking forward to both of those coming through this year. You can catch those shows. Let's see. A couple little off-note things. In 1949, J. Edgar Hoover, head of the FBI, gave a secret tear gas pen to Shirley Temple. I don't know why the hell. I tried to find out. I'm like, seriously? And in 2008, I was like, wait, 2008? It was that long ago? Breaking Bad premiered on AMC. 2008. Can you believe that? That's fucking crazy. I mean, that's 18 years ago. I was blown away by that. I got to actually meet Aaron Paul. It was so nice. It was like we were sitting there, and I was in LA for a concert, and we're backstage hanging out, and Aaron Paul's over there, and I kind of looked over, and I kind of caught my eye. He walks over, and he goes, "Hi, I'm Aaron," and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Brandy. Nice to meet you." So yeah, he literally like walks right over and just says, "Hi, I'm Aaron." I'm like, yes, you are. Kind of like, okie doke. I was like, wow, that was really interesting. I have no idea. Maybe it's saying this at Jimmy Kimmel. Maybe that did it, you know? Yes, noted cross-dresser J. Edgar Hoover. Don't ask me, man. Oh, shit. I don't know what to tell you, Nostradamus. Yeah, J. Edgar Hoover. Who knew? Anyway, yeah, I just thought that was really interesting that, 18 years ago, Breaking Bad premiered. That's nuts. I'm going to have to rewatch that series one of these days. It was such a good series. And Gillian is doing that Pluribus show. I watched the whole series. I kind of like the theory of it, but it's just very plodding. very intentional. Just kind of like, get to the point already. So we'll see if I can stick with it when it comes back. It's not going to be back for a while. So anytime series that I can't binge the entire thing from start to finish in like a reasonable amount of time and I have to wait a year or something, I just forget about it. Like Fallout. I watched the first series. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. And then it's like, oh, it's going to be a while. Or The Last of Us or Yellow Jackets or I'm just like, shit. You know, when it comes back a year later, I'm like, huh? I moved on. Totally moved on. I mean, if Yellow Jackets comes back, I'll be like, wait, what happened? I'd have to watch the whole fucking series again. Hate that. Hate that. Anyway, that's the way it works. See, that camera's working. This one too. We'll go back to this one. All right. So yeah, that's it. Tuesday night, we're heading out to episode 233 of Randsanity. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns about radio, feel free to ask, because that's what I do. I'm a radio guy, and I don't take payola, so I'm not going to get arrested by the FCC for taking unlawful bribes. I disclose everything, too much so, but that's the way it works. Right, don't forget, like, subscribe, follow, share, and watch. Especially the subscribe and follow. All that stuff, you know? All right. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and depart. I'll move my microphone over to here. That way I'm actually talking to the microphone. So, appreciate you. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. It was my pleasure to entertain you in my little studio down here in my cellar, where the warmth exists because the heater is right here. Besides that, I'll do this again tomorrow, so look for me tomorrow night at 11 p.m. on the 21st of January, 2026. And we'll do episode 234. And who knows, maybe I'll try and do something special for tomorrow. I think I will. I'll do something special. All right? So, thank you. Appreciate you. Grateful for you stopping in. Be well, and I look forward to see you again. We will, in fact, fade to black. Yes, dumbass, I do. Yes.